everybody, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Zeke.
I'm Precious.
Today we are talking about why we made the biggest decision of our life. We decided to move to Merida, Mexico. So this has been a very long journey, long journey. We're just gonna talk about some of the choices we made and why we chose Merida out of all places. So before we tell you why we moved to Merida, we should probably tell you why we wanted to move out of the US. And there was a couple of reasons why.
Number one, being overworked. Like, we literally worked at jobs that did not care about us resting at all or even having a break. They, especially because we're hard workers, it was just a work, like, and we barely got paid any money.
Both of our jobs were in the field that we went to school for, and it was something that we thought we wanted, but we had just gotten married around that time as well too. So the first year of marriage was literally right after we got back from our honeymoon, was spent right back at work. And even though we had a honeymoon, we didn't have a honeymoon period.
Oh, yeah.
So we were spending all the time working. We barely got a chance to see each other, and that brought a lot of stress into things. And like, I would stress and she would try to help me out, and then she would stress and I would try to help her out. It was just like, if one of us was stressed, the other one wasn't, and then if one of us wasn't stressed, it would just be both of us stressed. So that really took a toll after a while.
Another reason, one of the top reasons, is we felt like there was more to life than just working. I know for me personally, I didn't want to just do a 9 to 5 and be there in one company for 40 years and be like, oh, I've been here for so long, but yet I have nothing to show for it but a plaque on the wall saying I'm employee of the month. Like, I don't want to keep doing the same thing that I'm not passionate about for 40 years and then look back and say, I could have did this, or I could have did that, or I wish I had have done that or this. So that was one big thing.
With me, my job was being creative. I did photography and videography, still do, but that was my job. And the first job that I got, it was supposed to be my dream job, and it felt like that for a month or two.
Yeah. Until
just the creativity got taken away. And I know for me, when I'm not creative, I feel off, like something's off when I'm not able to do projects or to think outside of the box for a project. I feel like just really weird. And at first, of course, the job was going through the honeymoon phase of telling you, hey, you can do whatever you want to do. You have full creative freedom. Mm-hmm. And then every day or so, it'll be new rules until I look up and I have no creative freedom. And it's just do this way, do this that way. If I did anything completely off or anything that had a little bit of creativity to it, it was just, no, we don't want that.
Shot down.
So I would come home after working 8-9 hours of non-creativity, and then I wouldn't have an avenue to be creative. So I would just be stressed and depressed, pretty much.
We were always feeling depressed or unhappy in our environment. Like, we were happy together. We're happy together.
Yeah.
And being
Definitely.
married makes us happy. But in the place that we were in, it just wasn't where we were supposed to be. It didn't feel like we were supposed to be there, and that's what we were supposed to be doing. So we were very down most of the time. And yeah, we forced ourselves to like be okay and be happy in our environment, but I don't want to fake it, you know? Like,
yeah. And that was something that we promised ourselves, was that we didn't want to compromise our happiness and our passions and what we wanted to do just because everybody was like, oh, this is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
And we really had to sit down and have a like heart-to-heart talk about, okay, do we want to do this for the next 40 years? Do we want to, like, are we going to be mentally able to? Like, is it going to be doable? And we decided no, it wasn't, and we had to do something different.
With that, doing something different, it wasn't just moving to a different place. It was also changing our mindsets about things, changing our environment, changing what we do, what we eat, what we say to each other, what we say to others, what we do around others. We also saw this as an opportunity to do stuff for our family,
Yeah.
not just for us. It was more so of our family hasn't really been out of the country or anywhere really out of Texas for his side, but for my side, we've traveled,
Right.
but it was always in the U.S. And we wanted to let our families know that there was more to the world and more to life than just what we've been.
One state.
The normal. Yeah. Another step was it's because a lot of things had transpired besides the coronavirus, but also like us being Black Americans in the U.S. It was a lot going on.
Yeah, that was big. That was a major factor of why we moved. It's just that I know me being a Black man, I would have to go to work, and sometimes I would have to be at night or during times, and I would see how concerned like she was when I had to leave out. The fact that I had to have a little shortcut on my iPhone to where if I ever got pulled over by the police, it would automatically call her and send a video of me in case that's my last time being alive.
It's not even a normal traffic stop. I got stopped because I'm African American. It's scary. It's not just a game or, oh, you guys have been through that all your lives. It's really like frightening because it's like I can't even be safe in this world. Why would I want kids? Why would I want to have a son and let him be raised in this world where he's not accepted? Here, everyone is accepted, even though they're not accepted there. But everyone is accepted here. They're nice. They're loving. They're helpful. They're encouraging. They really see you as a person rather than just an object,
exactly,
a thing.
Exactly.
That's another reason why Merida is a really good place, and it's safe. We did mention that.
Yeah, it's the third safest city in all of the Americas, and that's North America and South America. Whenever we were looking, this was definitely high on the list. Yeah. After we had a heart-to-heart, we decided that what we wanted to do was move out the U.S., and that wasn't just we hate the U.S. type thing. It was part of piggybacking off of what we wanted to do anyway, which was travel. We went on a cruise for our honeymoon that actually went to Mexico and Honduras. Ever since we got off the boat to come back to the U.S., we were like, we gotta go travel again. Yes. And this is something we talked about a long time ago. So we knew we wanted to travel, and we had a bunch of trips planned anyway, but then the big pandemic hit. So we weren't able to do those things. Really, it was just a bunch of planning and preparation that hit to where we were just like, okay, we need to go ahead and just do a move. We need to do a big move. Where we moved was not actually our first
at all.
Our first one. We had a totally different list of places we wanted to move.
Our first choice was Barbados.
Our first choice was Barbados because they were planning to pay people to move to Barbados. So you were like, oh, most definitely. Yeah,
hey,
we'll do
know
that.
Rihanna from Barbados, so she always go back, so you might as well,
And so Barbados was one of it, but that was a long flight.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at Canada, and we almost went with Canada, but thankfully we didn't because they are still under another lockdown now. So we didn't go with Canada because the bang for our buck, it's basically almost the same as America. So we knew that we didn't want to struggle wherever we went as well too. Mm-hmm. That was a big thing. We went through a couple of other places as well too, and finally one day we were just watching YouTube videos and we saw somebody talk about Merida, Mexico, and we were like, okay. And this was over a year before we did our move, so we decided to we kind of threw some ideas off each other. We did a little bit of research, and we just kept compiling a long list of just resources. How can we do this? Can we bring Maverick?
What's needed?
What the money is it safe? I wish I could show you the text. Like we would send each other texts back and forth saying, hey, did you see this article?
At work,
while we're most definitely.
We're talking about this, like, I'm ready to get out of here. Like, I don't care where we go at this point. Like I'm just ready to
Yeah,
go.
yeah. There was a lot of there was a lot of conversations at work about that. We would just send each other information, and then by the time we got off of work, we would come together and talk about all the information that we saw. That really helped us get through a lot of the work days. It's just knowing that we're working towards something. Like
We were working together.
we were working
towards
together
something.
towards
Because
something.
it wasn't like, oh, I just want to move and he gonna move with me, or vice versa. It was
Nah.
hey, we both want to go like right now.
Yeah,
Like
most definitely.
we looked at each other and was like, it's time.
So why we chose to move to Merida? Number one was we knew that we wanted to still see our family, and family's huge for both of us.
Yes.
So whenever we did want to go to Barbados, that was going to be a long flight. I forgot how many hours it was, but I know
Like
it's
18.
yeah. It was definitely up there. Mexico was just the perfect amount of distance. Like we are literally a 2.5 hour flight away from home. We're still close enough to the U.S., but we are in a different country. Like it feels different.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that was definitely huge for us.
Well, for one, it's beautiful here. Like everything is so natural.
Ah,
The
definitely.
food is so much better here. It's like they use fresh food for everything. Not really enough processed stuff like they have in the U.S. Just the environment, the air is better. Like just breathing wise.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't be outside in the U.S. like this without struggling to
Especially when
catch
we
my
were.
breath. Takes a lot on you. So in this air, it's easier to breathe, easier to do more activities outside, easier to just go down the street by walking. Like it's a lot easier on you compared to being in the U.S. Walking to the mailbox, it was stressful because it's like, Lord, am I gonna make it back home? Because I can't breathe. Like it was a struggle, but also it was a better place for us as well for getting to certain destinations just walking.
This city is so walkable.
We don't need a car.
Like
That's one less bill.
most definitely. Like I remember seeing a bunch of videos about everybody saying, "Oh, it's walkable. It's so walkable." But people have told me New York City's walkable.
Man.
So I was like, is it really? We got down here, and we stayed at a hotel for a week, and we're gonna make another video about our whole process of finding a place and how we actually started off here. But so for a week we stayed at a hotel, and we were able to really explore the city in under an hour, just going to different places, and it would be like a 30-minute walk or a 15-minute walk or at most a 45-minute walk. And we were able to go to the city center, like museums, just all types of shopping centers and places that we just really wanted to explore, and we were actually able just to walk there. So we don't need a car. Like I understand why some people here have them because this is their home and they have other cities to go to, but for this being
Or
our
family to
yeah,
see.
right, or family to see, but for this being our base, we don't necessarily need a car. One of the last things that really helped us make our decision about moving to Mexico was money, and that wasn't the main thing. But when we lived in the U.S., I was working three or four jobs at
3.5.
3.5. I was working 3.5 jobs, and she was working a job, and we wanted to live a certain lifestyle. Like we wanted to have basic things like food and living in a nice place.
Yeah.
And so we lived in a major part of Houston.
It's a little pricey.
Yeah. It was.
I mean, we was able to do it. But
Yeah, we were definitely able to do it, but again, like we were talking about earlier, that money part, I was working all the time, so I would literally go to work starting at like 7, and then I would have a little bit of time to see her, maybe an hour or so after she would get off work,
Grab
and then I would
food.
go to and we would go grab food, and then right after that, I would go to my other job, and I wouldn't get back to 10 or 11. And by then I'm tired, so it would be like that constantly, and I would work on the weekends as well too. Like everybody says this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to work, save up money, but it was just like we didn't want to live like that. Like we still wanted to work, of course. We still wanted to make money, but we didn't want our lives to be centered around
Work.
work. And most of our money was going towards rent, and The place we had was really nice. It was the
was.
nicest place we had besides, I think, this place that we have, which we'll show
True.
you in a future video. But most of our money was going towards rent. It was ridiculous. Like, I never want to pay that much for rent again. So all of that was a part of our decision to move to Mexico. Our money is very, very strong here. The US dollar is very strong.
$1 here is $20.
Yeah, it's 20 pesos, right?
Well, yeah, pesos,
Yeah.
not dollars. But it really stretched a lot further than any other place.
We could come to Mexico and have a good quality of life, and we could also give money to where it's needed and where it's appreciated most, because everything that we've got from here we have spent with, of course, the Mexican people. So when we go to stores, it's run by Mexican people. When we, like, the person who we're paying our rent to is obviously a Mexican person. So we are putting
Actually a Mexican pilot.
He's super
Kind of have
dope.
connections here.
He's
you know?
super dope. He's
He
a
flies
pilot.
planes. We like to travel. We pay him money for rent. You know.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? No, I'm just like
So so all of the money that we have spent here so far has gone into the Mexican economy, and we like that because we don't obviously see the change right in front of our face, but we know it's going somewhere where we are accepted and somewhere where, like, everybody in Merida is so nice. Obviously there's a language barrier. We both don't know Spanish.
Hola.
We both don't know Spanish as well. I know a little bit.
Chiquito.
And I'm able to communicate, but people obviously know that I don't speak Spanish fluently.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk to people, everybody's so nice. They'll even pull out their phones, and I'll pull out my phone and we'll translate. Like, but everybody's so nice and so patient. I don't think we've met a mean person here.
That's another thing. This place is peaceful. Like, we got neighbors. Ain't seen them.
We haven't met our neighbors. Now, we would
But
like
I've
to.
heard them.
We know they exist because when I go walk Maverick, I will hear the other dogs respond to Maverick. But I know they exist. Now, obviously, we do want to meet them. Maybe they're staying in because of pandemic or whatever. But we literally haven't met them. We do have them, though. Just like Precious said, like, there is a peace that we have here.
Mhm.
Obviously, it was a little stressful being in a whole new country, getting used to the money, knowing the conversions, like figuring out where we want to live. But literally once we got past that little hump, like, it's been so peaceful. So those were the main reasons why we chose to move to Mexico and out of the US. And really we created this channel as just a creative avenue for us, and just to be able to document our journey, because this is one of the biggest moves we've probably ever done in our life. So we want to be able to look back in a couple years and see what we've done, and also for our kids as well too, so they could, you know, see how cool mom and dad were.
So this channel is also for people that want to move abroad but don't know exactly what it takes or what may be the steps or whatnot. I mean, we're not professional.
No, definitely
by
not.
no means. But we are here to help. So if you have any questions or anything like that, you can comment below. We can help you as much as we can.
So the next couple videos will be sort of about our process of how we moved here and just the steps we took, and really just exploring the city and showing how beautiful this city is. So if there's anything that you want to see, definitely hit us up in the comments below. And thank you for watching the video as well too. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. And we will see you in the next video.